Hey guys, what's up? It's Dark Killer Gaming here. I'm just showing a deck profile that I recently just made for Granblue in the V series. Like it could be better, but I'm like there's a lot out there, but I could this is just a deck that I think runs well with me. So first off, we'll start with the grade 0, the starting Vanguard. So basically, it is Undying Departed Granarch. Basically, just plain and simple, just a starter Vanguard. Then I am running four Night Rose. So this is the main kicker of the deck. Using Night Rose. I use Night Rose because its skill is pretty handy. So when your rear guard attacks will boost, that unit gets an extra 5 until the end of the battle, and then that unit that boosts and attacks gets retired. Then its other ability, when it attacks, counterblast 1, choose a column, call up to 2 cards from the drop zone. And if the opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, it gets an extra 10,000 as well. So it's pretty useful. Like I use it in a few combos. But yeah, I'm all doing this all on my phone because I don't have a proper camera yet. So yeah. Alright, so next I am running 2 Ghosty Leader Ghosties from a good friend of mine. Basically, she's not the main target because it's a Night Rose base, but I use the first skill when it's placed to Soul Blast and call a card not named Ghosty Leader from the drop zone. So I'd usually use that to combo with Skull Dragon, but I'll show him later. So this guy's pretty handy. You would probably want to target, like it's a good ride one as well. It's a good riding Vanguard, but if you can get the Night Rose, that would be better. Yeah, sorry, the audio maybe it's not that the best commentary. I haven't done a video in a while. But yeah, on to the next grade 3, which is one I was talking about before, sort of. It is Dragon Undead Skull Dragon. It's a good thing about this card, it's very interesting. So basically its skill is during a turn, this unit gets an extra 2,000 power for each card in the drop zone. So basically, Granblue's main target, the main goal is charging up the drop zone and calling units from the drop zone. So it's sort of like a, so for example, so it's a hit. So with Night Rose's skill, it attacks, dies, and then it can get revived by a lot of things actually. The Beatrice is one. There's a few other that I would show during the video. Yeah, so these are all the grade 3s. I'm running 8 grade 3s. It's ideal, but a lot of other decks run it like a lot more in different cards, but hey, it works for me. Alright, so onto the grade 2s. Like this is the one I'm running at the moment, so I'll probably exchange it for more of the one unit that I need, or a few of them, but I want to make a premium type deck for it. But basically, Captain Night Mist, he's pretty handy. His skill is when placed, counterblast 1, call a grade 1 or less from your drop zone, but if your drop zone has 10 or more cards in it, you can call from the rear, from the drop zone, pretty much any grade possible. as long as it's got 10 or more cards in the drop zone. So it's handy. Brings out, like, as I said, it does the reviving technique, so it'll be useful for Skull Dragon. Pretty much any unit, really, in this deck. But yeah. So we got him, then we are running... Oh, god damn. We are running 3 Columbar. Like Pirates Ultimate Columbard. He's pretty handy. He's probably a ride target that you want to get out when it's turn 2, but there's also other possibilities, but this is the main one you want to do, because when it's placed, you can counterblast 1, search your deck for up to 1 card, put it into drop zone, shuffle your deck and call up to 1 card. In the rear guard, this ability may only be used once per turn, so you can pretty much use it 1 turn. And you have to wait for your next turn after your opponent's, and then you can go again. So it's just a 1 turn. So I'd usually use this to, like, if you don't have Skull Dragon in your drop zone already, or a few other units, but you would probably want to mainly target Skull Dragon, because you can add him to the drop zone, and then he can be called to the drop zone, because for his first skill, this card can only be normal called, so it can't be ridden as a Vanguard. It has to be called to a rear guard. But it works with the stacking when all the cards are in the drop zone. Gets that extra 2,000 boost. I have running 1 Thin Mist Banshee. It's pretty much similar to a unit that I have, so I may get rid of this one, but I'm still learning the Granblue because I'm new to it. But basically, when placed by your card's ability, this card or this unit gets an extra 10,000 until the end of the turn. When it's retired by a card ability, draw a card. This ability may only be activated once per turn. So it's pretty much similar to one of the other cards that I have in the deck. It's more of a downgraded version. But so pretty much, it's pretty much the same card, but this, you have to call this card out by card abilities, and then so the similar card that I'm talking about is Storm Rider Ghost Ship. So basically it's the same thing as Thin Mist Banshee, sort of, but this one cannot be normal called, so that's just the only thing. This one can be called, that one can be called, but this one can't be normal called, so that's be called from the drop zone, which is alright, but it gets alright. So basically this card cannot be normal called, by the rear guard or even to the guidance circle, so it can't be used as a guard unit, which is unfortunate. But its second ability is where it shines, because when it attacks, this unit gets an extra 15,000 power till the end of the turn of that battle. At the end of the battle, draw a card and retire this unit. So as I said, it's sort of similar to Thin Mist Banshee, but this one's just, I would say, a little bit more efficient. Storm Rider Ghost Ship. The next grade 2s are one of the more important. Then I wouldn't run a Granblue deck without Columbard or this card, which is Greed Shade. So Greed Shade is pretty handy. During your turn, if your drop zone is 10 or more, this gets an extra 5,000 power, which is pretty good. Just gives that power boost. But its second skill is really good. When placed, you can discard a card and put 2 cards from the top of your deck into your drop zone. And return a card not named Greed Shade from your drop zone to your hand. So you pretty much could combo this with if you don't have a Night Rose, your Night Rose is in the drop zone, you can use it to add it to your hand, and then you won't have to G-assist, which is basically the ability that you can do if you don't have any grades. It works for any grade, from up to grade 1 to grade 3. But yeah, no, the grade shed is pretty handy. I may exchange it for more cards in the future, but as I said, this is just a standard build. May not be the best for most people, but yeah, it's just what I find is comfortable to use. Okay, so that's all the grade 2s. That's all the grade 2s in the deck. Alright, so we're on to the grade 1s now. Grade 1s. So for grade 1s, I use this card. You can use it as a ride, but you just need to get it like Soul Blast or something like that to get it back into your soul. But all cards are useful in their own perspective, but there's cards that I prefer to ride than any others. So Ripple Banshee is basically when it's placed from a drop zone, so it has to be called from the drop zone. You can Soul Blast 1, draw a card, and get an extra 4,000 power. So it's sort of similar to it's basically similar to the Ghost Ship, but it doesn't get retired unless Night Rose is skill. But yeah, so it's a booster. Plus it has a 10k shield, so that's not too bad. No, this card is really good. So combo I would do really is probably activate one of my grade 2s or grade 3s abilities and call it Soul Blast. Get an extra 4,000 power and draw a card. Yeah, so this... Now, in the middle of things, this deck can pretty much be aggressive with Skull Dragon or any other unit. Skull Dragon's the finisher. Night Rose is the main Vanguard, but yeah, this Granblue is fascinating because it pretty much can be aggressive. Like it can be aggressive, or you can play on the defensive because of the shields. Because most of them are either 10k shields or 5k shields, which is what most grade 2s are. But yeah, so yeah, that's me, Ripple Banshee. So my next lot of cards is three Witch Doctor of the Powered Bone, Negro Bone. You don't need a lot for this one, for this card. Like, its skill's pretty useful. It just helps you from decking out, because this deck can go through a lot of milling, which is putting your units into the drop zone. You can just save your little deck out with Negrabone, because Negrabone's skill is drop zone skill, so it can be activated in your main phase, so it can't be activated anywhere else from what I looked at and what I've done. So basically, drop zone skill, discard a card from your hand, put this card at the bottom of the deck and call it grade 1 from your drop zone to your rear guard. If your drop zone has 10 or more cards, you may call any grade instead. So you can use this with so you can so just say Skull Dragons in the thingy, in the soul, in the drop zone. So basically you can use Negrabone skill, put it into the deck, bottom of the deck. You can discard a card, and you can call him out. You can call Skull Dragon out, which obviously as I said before, his skill is it gets 2,000 power for each card in the drop zone. So you pretty much can, if you have a pretty good, decent drop zone, you could pretty much be attacking for around 50, 60k, probably. And that's pretty good. Yeah, definitely another recommendation is, for a Granblue deck, you could have like this. Saves you from decking out. It's a recommendation from what I looked from other people that did it, and well, my personal experience, even though I just started with Granblue. But yeah. So next grade 1 will be for Tommy the Ghosty Brothers. So Ghosty Brothers are good. The Ghosty Brother is good. During your turn, if your drop zone has 5 or more units, unit gets an extra 5k power. Sorry, itchy. But its other skill is, say you don't have any grade 3s in your hand, or you just want to search a card and then discard it, so you can pretty much go when placed from hand, so you can, it's on Vanguard or Rearguard. On Vanguard or Rearguard, when placed from hand, look at the top 5 from the top of the deck, reveal up to 1 grade 3 from among them, and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck. If you put a card into your hand, you can discard. So pretty much, so probably a hand that I'll probably go for example, is I have a Night Rose. I have a Night Rose in hand. It's handy. I could either, I don't have anything else, I could either, so you get Night Rose. So this is a basic hand thing that I would do. So I'll have probably at least 1 of them or 2 of them. So then you can do a skill no matter what, because you don't have, because it's not a once per turn limit. You can use this skill, reveal up to a grade 3, reveal a grade 3, and then add it to your hand. So you say you want to put Skull Dragon into the drop zone, so you pretty much you reveal him, so you show the card, and you can go in, you can discard it. You don't have to keep it, you can just discard it and put it into your drop zone, and that would be your Skull Dragon in the drop zone, ready for when your drop zone gets built up. Also, yeah, so a lot of combos that I would do is I would ride him, try and search for a Skull Dragon, or even a Beatrice as well, because when Beatrice is placed, you can Soul Blast 1 and you can revive another unit. Yeah, recommendation for me is definitely have this in your deck if you're doing a Night Rose build. Like, I don't know about other builds. I don't know 100% sure about other ones. Alright, so next unit is 3 Dancing Cutlass. So Dancing Cutlass is a pretty unique skill. I'll probably end up exchanging it, and I'll probably end up running 4, but I'm not 100% sure yet. But basically, Dancing Cutlass's skill is, it's a drop zone skill, so it can only have it in main phase, as I said. You can bind 1 other Dancing Cutlass. So, for example, there's 2 Dancing Cutlasses in the drop zone. So let's see your drop zone here, and basically you would bind it, and then I'll just do this for now. Yeah, you can bind it, and then you will call this to one of your back rows, front rows, depending on where your Vanguard's in, and it gets a counter charge 1. So with Granblue, depending on your builds, there'll be a lot of counter blasting, and Dancing Cutlass will be a good helper for that, because it can counter charge. So counter charging is basically, you can just turn one of your cards in your damage zone up, face up. It's pretty good. Alright, next units are the grade 0s. Okay, so grade 0s, I am running a lot. I'm gonna just place them all. I'm running a lot of critical triggers. So 4, 8, 12. I'm running 12 critical triggers. Yeah, running a lot of critical triggers can be risky, but at the moment I don't have any draw triggers. So I have 12 crits, because you can only have a limit of, I think, 12. You can only have a limit of 12 triggers in a deck. But, like, of one trigger. But with heal triggers, you can only have 4. Which I'll show you those later. So basically, the critical triggers, I'm running 4 Rampage Shades, which are a Sentinel. Sentinels are pretty good. Yeah, Sentinels are pretty good. Well, this one in particular has a 30k shield, so you can use that and it could pretty much stop most of the attacks, depending on how much power your opponent's Vanguard is attacking. But I will, in the meantime, like when I get them, I'll get rid of 2 of them and I'll add 2 Perfect Guards, which basically is a Sentinel, so you can have a limit of 4 Sentinels in the deck. Shit, sorry, not even get the card. Yeah. So the Sentinels, you may only have up to 4 cards with continuous Sentinels in a deck. So Perfect Guards are Sentinels, and I'll probably end up exchanging 2 30k shields for 2 draw trigger PGs, which are Perfect Guards, which pretty much just stops the attack completely. So no matter how much they're attacking for, you can stop it unless there's a skill that you can't call Sentinel cards to the Guardian Circle. And then I'm running 4 Night Spirits, which are critical triggers. Has 15k shield, so it helps with the defensive. And 4 Rough Sea Banshee, which is a 15k shield as well. But yeah. And then to finish off the grade 0s, 4 heal triggers. So heal triggers are fascinating. You can only have a limit of 4 in a deck, as I said. But heal triggers is a trigger that you can so reveal it, and if you have more damage, you can heal 1. You can heal 1 card from your damage zone as long as your damage zone is higher. But sort of key not to take damage. But especially for Granblue, there's going to be a lot of counter blasts. But yeah. And to pretty much leave it at that, I'm running a Quick Shield. So Quick Shield is a new, I forgot what they're called, order card. So order card is basically what it says on the text. One of your attack allies can get an extra 5,000 attacks. So you can just use it to guard for less. So you can just add that 5k attack. But most people use it too for a discard option unless they want to do it. And fancy enough, you don't really need the PGs, but I do. Because, well, this deck has this icon right here. It's Protect symbol, Protect Imaginary Gifts, so that's just a new format in the V series. Each clan has different gift markers. So for Granblue, it's a Protect marker. So pretty much a Protect marker is used when acquired, add this marker to your hand. You can call it up to your G zone. It's a continuous, so you can have as many. It's a sentinel though, but you can have as many of these as you want, because that's just what the deck is built for. And there's also another imaginary gear protect, which is protect 2, but that pretty much adds 10,000 intercept, and it can stack, but it can add an extra 10,000 shield. But for this deck in particular, it's good to run protect 1s. So I'm running six force protect markers. So basically, for example, I have a deck. I won't show you in this particular build, but I have a deck that has the protect, or not protect, the force, which is force 1, which is that. So pretty much you can add extra power. It's part of a new deck that I've got. You can just gets an extra 10,000 power when it attacks. But I will show that deck in on another video. But anyway, hope I didn't bore you too much. And it doesn't sound that engaged. It's been a while since I've actually did a video on YouTube. I've just been busy with personal life and haven't really found the motivation to do videos as of late. But that will conclude my deck profile for Granblue. And like my local guys, they got a good tournament, and definitely recommend for new players. If you ever feel interested in playing Vanguard, it's very good in my opinion. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot better when after I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Like I played Yu-Gi-Oh! But for me, the rules got even more confusing as the years went on, so I lost interest in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I moved to Vanguard, and I've been there for a while playing Vanguard, and it's actually not bad. It's very fun, it's very simple, but this deck is very complex. Got a lot of adding and brain power to do, but you know. Anyway, that concludes my deck profile for Granblue. I'll probably pulled out more deck profiles for other decks that I use. And I shall see all you guys in the next video. And just remember, you're unique, you're amazing, and if you work together, you can make a difference. Anyway, that's going to be me signing off. Have a good day, guys. Peace.